Liverpool fans, before we dive into this fiery story that has the football worldview buzzing, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and join us live here on the channel, where we bring you every twist, every transfer shock, and every hidden detail behind Liverpool's chase for football glory. Don't miss out on anything. Subscribe, like, and stay with us until the end of today's deep dive because this one is explosive. Now, let's get straight into it. The Alexander Isak saga has taken yet another dramatic turn, and this time one of the biggest voices in English football history has weighed in. Yes, Alan Shearer, Newcastle's all-time record goalscorer, Premier League legend, and a man who knows what it means to wear the black and white shirt with pride, has absolutely torn into Alexander Isak's agent, branding the entire situation, and I quote, a complete mess. Shearer didn't hold back. He made it crystal clear that if he were in Isak's shoes, the very first thing he would do is fire his agent on the spot. Strong words from a man who has been through the ups and downs of transfers, contract disputes, and the brutal realities of modern football. So, what exactly is going on? Alexander Isak, one of Newcastle's marquee signings in recent years, has reportedly made it clear behind the scenes that he wants to leave St. James' Park and make the blockbuster move to Liverpool. For Isak, the allure is obvious. Liverpool are reigning champions. They are competing on multiple fronts, and they boast a history and a stage that very few clubs in world football can match. The chance to link up with the likes of Mohamed Salah, Darwin Núñez, Alexis Mac Allister, and under the guidance of Arne Slot, is something that excites any player. But the way this transfer saga has unfolded has left an extremely bitter taste in Newcastle's mouth, and more importantly, it has exposed cracks in the handling of Isak's camp. Shearer's rant was triggered by the revelation that Isak's agent apparently assured his client that a move out of Newcastle would be possible this summer, despite the fact that the striker had signed a 6-year contract with no release clause. To Shearer, this is not just poor advice, it is catastrophic. He couldn't believe that any professional footballer would sign such a long deal without an escape route, only to then be told verbally that there'll be a way out. Shearer summed it up bluntly. It's nonsense. You don't take someone's word in football, you get it written down. That's the crux of the issue here. Isak is now boxed in. With a transfer deadline looming on September 1st, his options are limited. Newcastle are standing firm, refusing to sell unless certain conditions are met. Isak is frustrated, Liverpool are waiting in the wings, and Newcastle fans feel betrayed. And right in the middle of all this chaos is an agent who has, according to Shearer and many others, completely mismanaged the situation. The drama escalated further when both Isak and Newcastle exchanged public statements. First, Isak spoke out, explaining his absence from the PFA Awards night and accusing Newcastle of breaking promises regarding his future. He suggested that there were agreements in place allowing him to leave under certain circumstances, which he claims the club has failed to honor. It was an unusually strong move for a player, and it immediately set social media ablaze. Newcastle, however, wasted no time firing back. The club released a firm statement of their own, denying any broken promises and insisting that no such agreement existed. They clarified that the conditions for a potential summer sale were never met and that Isak remains their player. For many, Newcastle's stance painted a picture of a club refusing to be bullied into selling their star forward, especially not to a Premier League rival like Liverpool. Shearer, unsurprisingly, sided with Newcastle. He acknowledged that there are always two sides to every story, but his verdict was scathing. Isak has gone about it in the wrong way. And that's the heart of Shearer's criticism. It's not just about wanting a move. He understands that players will always aspire to bigger opportunities. It's about how you handle it, the timing, and the professionalism you show. Think about it. Newcastle have invested heavily in Isak. They've built their attack around him, and they see him as a symbol of their ambitions under their current ownership. For him to push for an exit so publicly, and at this late stage of the window, feels to Newcastle fans like a betrayal of trust. Meanwhile, for Liverpool supporters, it's a fascinating watch. Isak is clearly interested in the move. Liverpool need attacking reinforcement to ease the burden on Salah and Núñez, and the Swedish striker fits the bill perfectly. But can they realistically land him before September 1st? Or has this saga burned too many bridges too quickly? And here's where Shearer's comments hit hardest. He argues that Isak's desire to leave may be understandable, but his strategy has backfired. By publicly clashing with Newcastle, he risks being frozen out of the team. By leaning on his agent's flawed advice, he's trapped in a contract he cannot escape easily. And by pushing for a Liverpool move so late, he's given the Reds no real leverage to negotiate a fair price. The result? Isak could find himself in limbo, neither fully welcomed back at Newcastle nor moving to Anfield anytime soon. This saga also raises huge questions about modern football agents. Are they truly working in the best interests of their players? Or are they chasing the biggest commission, creating messy situations like this that damage reputations and destabilize clubs? Shearer clearly believes Isak's agent has failed him spectacularly, and many fans seem to agree. Now, for Liverpool fans, here's the key takeaway. The Reds are still monitoring the situation. If Newcastle were to soften their stance at the last minute, Liverpool would be ready to pounce. But as it stands, time is running out, and Newcastle seem determined to hold firm. Unless a miracle happens in the final days of the transfer window, Isak might just have to swallow his pride, return to St. James' Park, and rebuild his reputation in front of fans who now view him very differently. So the question becomes, what happens next? Will Isak apologize and reintegrate into Eddie Howe's side? Will Liverpool table a late bid that Newcastle simply cannot refuse? Or will this drag on into January, leaving everyone frustrated? Whatever the outcome, Alan Shearer's explosive intervention has put even more spotlight on a transfer saga that was already boiling over. And if one thing is clear, it's this. Alexander Isak's dream move to Liverpool has turned into one of the most controversial stories of the summer.